Hey, what's going on, Switchers? It's ChimneySwift here, and welcome you guys to a brand new snapshot this week for Minecraft 1.9. And this snapshot is 15W34B, and there's not a whole lot this week, but one of the major things I want to talk about today is the new attack strength combat mechanic. So what this is basically a little bar or a little meter that has now just been added within the game that you can toggle on or off, and it affects how much damage you can do with weapons, items, and different things. So by showing you guys this, I'm gonna go to an empty hand, and the first thing I'm gonna do is I want you to notice the right side. I just got some haste over there from that beacon. I'm gonna show you guys that in a minute, but I want you guys to notice the bottom right hand side of my hotbar, okay? So I'm gonna switch to the sword, and you see that little bar loading up right there. I'm gonna switch weapons. It's a little sword that is sort of a loading bar, and you can see there's a new animation as the sword loads into view here on the screen. Now what this is, you can still attack with the sword. However, you do more damage. Basically the damage done depends on the fullness of the meter. So if your meter is completely full like it is right now, I'm going to do the most amount of damage. If you're hitting repeatedly and very quickly, as you can see the meter in the bottom there is really, really low, I won't be doing as much damage as I would if I waited and then strike. You know, then struck with my sword or whatever. So this is a new combat mechanic. If you go to your options and then video settings, there's actually a new icon here called attack indicator. You can have it off, so having it off just doesn't show anything at all. It still shows the new sort of like loading animation of your sword. We'll talk about some other weapons in a second. But you can also actually have it near the hotbar like I had it, or you can put it near the crosshair, and that looks like this. So it basically just loads. I'm trying to think of what best. Yeah, there we go. There's a good backdrop right there with the beautiful ocean. I spawned in this beautiful ocean. It's by this beautiful ocean. It's amazing. So as you can see, as I'm switching weapons here, you can see that attack bar loading up, and it's right near your crosshair. And I actually kind of like it near my hotbar, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it over there. But basically, that is the attack strength combat mechanic. That's what they're calling it, the attack strength. So like I said, the damage done depends on the fullness of the meter. It fills in 0.25 seconds for non-weapons, so it's really quick. Like hand is a non-weapon, right? Oops, my web page just died. So for something like a spider egg or carrots, you know, things that aren't weapons, you can see that attack meter loads really, really quick. For something like a sword though, it's a little bit slower. So 0.8 seconds for swords, pickaxes, and shovels. And then the reason I'm holding an axe in my hotbar is because axes load even slower. So they load in 1.2 seconds. You can see here how slowly that axe really loads in. This is a sword, and that is an axe. So it's really, really slow. I'm not sure why they did that. Maybe it could be because the tooltip is, I don't know, no, they updated those. Look, 0.8 attack speed. That's not right. 1.25, 0.8. I don't know. Maybe there's some weird stuff going on in the game right now. Maybe their wiki had it wrong. But basically, the axes, I was speculating as to whether or not maybe the axe hits harder now that you have to load it more, like when it's on a fully charged attack. But anyways, new combat mechanic, you guys. Let me know your comments down below. Let me know what you think of it. There's also an added thing now in terms of when you do damage, every mob emits a brown heart, okay? Now these brown hearts are essentially the number of hearts sort of that it gives off are sort of indicative of how much damage you've done. So right here I've got a wooden sword. We're gonna go ahead and hit this spider, and you can see the little brown hearts that jump off the spider's back. There's only kind of like 2 of them, right? We're not doing a whole lot of damage. But if I were to switch up to something like a diamond sword, you'll see that there's like 4 hearts that pop up now. So I'm not sure if that's a direct like 1-to-1 ratio on how much damage you're doing, but it's a nice little visual indication sort of to give you an idea of how much damage you're doing. And if you're seeing a lot of hearts coming off something, then you know you're probably doing a pretty good amount of damage to it. So let me move on to just one more thing. I'm gonna show you guys the comparison between a wooden sword, which is like the lowest amount of damage you can do, or roughly the lowest amount of damage you can do with a weapon, to a diamond sword that's been enchanted with sharpness, and which is probably like about the most you can do. So there's like 2 hearts coming off of him there, and then with sharpness, that looked like 5 maybe. Let me try this again. He died, so I couldn't really tell. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 maybe? Maybe it was 6 hearts? Let's try again. It's kind of interesting. Can't really tell. It's definitely at least 5. I know that. But obviously you guys can see a definite change there in sort of like how combat is working. And like I said, you can continue to strike continuously. Like if I wanted to attack this spider over and over and over again, you know, I can keep doing that. But as you can see, the charge bar, I'm hitting him over and over again. He's not really taking that much damage at all. If I let this charge up, I'm gonna do a much better attack on him. And you can actually see there that when I was sort of hitting him rapidly, it was just doing barely any damage. I mean, like there weren't really hardly any hearts coming off at all. I don't think there were any coming off. And then when I let it charge up and hit him, we got at least 2 hearts. So obviously I think that will work for crits as well. Let me see here. So that was 3. Yeah, so 3 hearts. I definitely, you know, come down and I hit him on a crit, and you're gonna get 3 hearts coming off him. So that's kind of a cool mechanic. Definitely something kind of fun to play around with. So let's go ahead and look at haste. So haste apparently will affect your attack speed. All right, guys. So moving on to the next thing, we have some different command blocks here. They're basically all the same command blocks, and don't ask me to explain how this works because I really don't understand them, nor do I understand redstone. But we have these standard orange command blocks here. Now we have teal ones and blue ones, and I just noticed this. There's actually a little animation happening in the middle there. You guys see that? Look at that. That's kind of cool. They're like, they look like they're powered on, which is really, really cool. So basically the way these work, there's a new, here, let me get this shield out of here so I can appropriately right click with certain things. All right, gotta go to creative mode. But basically there's a new UI here for the command blocks, and there's a new sort of button here that like I said, I don't know exactly what these do. I can read it to you from the wiki, but basically there's 2 new modes, or 3 modes, I guess. There's impulse, chain, and repeat. So impulse is the orange command block. The command is on run on rising edge. It has the same behavior and color as previous versions. The chain mode, the green one, says command is run whenever a command block pointing into this command block executes while this command block is powered. I feel like there was too many command blocks in that sentence. And the chain signal is forwarded even though disabled chain command blocks, even through disabled chain command blocks. Okay, I gotcha. And then over here, we have the repeat mode, which just says command is run every game tick while powered. So make of that what you will. There's a new animation as well. The next thing we're gonna move on to is maps. So essentially maps now have they started a more useful zoom level, which is a 1:4 ratio. And there's also a new recipe for zooming in on a map. And you basically just take your map and you put it anywhere here, and you can put the shears anywhere. And shears will essentially zoom in your map for you. And what it does is it zooms in essentially on the lower right quadrant of the original map. So I guess I was at the edge of my world and now it looks stupid, but that's how you zoom in on maps now, and how you craft the zooming in to get closer into your maps, which is kind of cool. And then we have a change to zombies and zombie pigmen. When they see you, they throw their arms in the air. Let me go to game mode survival, and as you can see, when he stands on the fence, he kind of starts to panic. His arms start to go crazy, but nonetheless, if we were to let him out, you will see that his arms are up, and that's sort of indicating that he is following you. And now he's burning, of course, but let's strike him down. Power attack. There we go. But basically that's how those guys work. And then zombie pigmen are the same way. Let's make him mad, his arms go up. There's just sort of like a glitch right now with fences. And please don't wreck me, buddy. There we go. So we did quite a bit of damage there with the new charged up power attack. So that's kind of like all the changes I have this week, really. If there's anything that I missed or whatever, I'll be sure to let you guys know. But thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of all the new changes and the new attack strength combat mechanic. I think it's kind of interesting. Definitely gonna be a little bit more strategic with fighting. You can't just kind of wail away and do as much damage anymore. You gotta be strategic with your hits, or let your your bar charge up and whatnot. So I like that. I think it's fun. It's definitely changing Minecraft, and I definitely think it's changing for the better in terms of combat and all that fun stuff. So let me know what you guys think. Subscribe if you're new, hit that like button as well, and I will see you guys again hopefully next week for another snapshot. Peace. Sit. Down. Sit.